Of Detroit. It's your girl Zsa Zsa. You already know it is. Yeah, I said it. Thankful Thursdays. We made it out of Snowmageddon. You already know what I say each and every Thursday. We have the activities of our limbs. Okay, we ain't in nobody's hospital. We ain't in nobody's jail. And when I tell you each and every Thursday, I tell you they got room in the jail, baby. What up, though? When I tell you they got room in the hospital, they will make room. So believe you me, if you don't understand how important it is to be alive, living, and kicking, I don't care if you got 2 dimes in your pocket. God is allowing you a new day to get it right, to be better, and to strive for what it is that you believe in. Now, listen, if you're tuning in, you already know it's your girl Zsa Zsa, and we are talking all about we're the same, but we're different. We are the same, but we are different. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm super excited because it is Black History Month, and I am Black on purpose, okay? And I'm super grateful because, you know, even in a world that has been set up against us as an ethnicity that are the chosen people, it always blesses my soul to see individuals hone in on their Blackness and their greatness. It's always a blessing when I'm able to go and I see individuals go and live their dreams and go off and do some great things. I love seeing people that I went to school with, that I went to church with, that I've called friend or had a relationship with. And it's always a beautiful thing to look at people and know where they've come from and know where they've been, and to see them expound into higher heights, into greater things. You, my brothers and my sisters, when you see somebody that looks like you winning, the first thing that should come to mind, knowing how far we've come as a people, it should put a smile on your face. It should put a smile in your heart, because at the end of the day, we are the same, but we're different. At the end of the day, when they see a Black girl with a bonnet on, they look at us the same. They don't see us as different. When a white person sees a Black man with a do-rag on, they don't see that he may be educated or he may be a great father. All they see is they're all the same. You understand where I'm going here now? And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. It's your girl, Zsa Zsa. And I'm talking all about we're the same, but we're different. See, one of the things that I've come to learn and understand in this Black History Month, as we celebrate and continue to celebrate our greatness and our excellence, is the fact that when you upgrade your thinking, you're able to value the history of our people. And when I say value the history of our people, I mean you understand the value of which we've come from. You understand the value of where we've been. So now you also understand the responsibility you have as a Black person to get us to the next level. You also understand, as a white person, as an Asian person, as another person of color, you understand what other ethnicities have been through, because times past will allow us to understand, okay, I know that they are an enslaved people, but they are a chosen people. You know, recently we just had some challenges where Whoopi Goldberg was suspended from The View. And then we also had some devastating news of the former Miss America, let Chelsea from New York jump off of a story building. I just read an article of a young man that was found that lived in Houston, but his body was found in the trunk of a car in Dallas. A Black man. We just seen how the case with Ahmaud Arbery and the individuals who murdered him because of the color of his skin. This ain't this far ago. This not that long ago. We also were mindful of what happened with George Floyd. We all witnessed it. And we all have had experiences, right, where we have to look at a person and say, yeah, we may be the same, but we different. Have you ever seen ladies, a Black girl, and you be like, sis, you ain't representing us. sis, what you doing? Like, they already think we already cuckoo, crazy, ghetto, hood, all of that, but we all of those things. However, don't put a cap on our Blackness. And see, this is the thing about Black excellence. Every other ethnicity knows how amazing we are but us. We get caught up in the trivial things that hinder us from moving forward as a community, as a family, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as leaders in ministry. We get caught up in who's who and who name on the marquee and who didn't get put on the flyer and listen. I'm a big firm believer as I continue to build my business and as I continue to strive for excellence, that I want people around me that have the same vision as me. Just because we the same and we both Black and you a woman and you got breasts and you got a vagina and I got a vagina. Listen, just because we got the same parts, that don't mean that we're the same. And see, sometimes we get hoodwinked and bamboozled because we think that because you came from the same hood as me, because we went to the same elementary school together, because we grew up in the same church together, because we went off to college together, that we the same. We ain't the same. There are some things that we have that are in common, like the color of our skin, from the geographical areas in which we were raised, the environments that we grew up in. I grew up in a household where my father beat my mama up and then we went off to church. I grew up in a household where my daddy got drunk as a skunk on Friday and Saturday, and we went to my grandma Liz's house on Sunday to have Sunday dinner. So when you grow up in certain environments, there are similarities that we have as Black people, and it's the same in other ethnicities. There are white people that call the white people white trash. There are Asians that call other Asians whatever they call them. There are other Mexicans and the people in the Latino world that belittle their own within their community. But guess what? At the end of the day, one of the things that their ethnicities have in common is that they're able to put the smaller things aside to be able to look at the bigger picture. And there's a bigger picture that we're building. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. It's your girl, Zsa Zsa. And I'm talking all about we're the same, but different. And this is one of the things that I've learned is that when we have circumstances and issues, like a young lady jumping off of the roof of a building and they want to call it suicide, you want to question that. Because is it really suicide? When you look at 2 Black women that have been murdered in Connecticut and officers aren't paying attention, when we have little girls that are being kidnapped right in their own hood and we unfortunately can't find them. How we can't find them? Detroit is small, baby. And although we got a lot of little pockets throughout the city, it's very small. And you got your main heavy hitters in the city. You got your smaller heavy hitters. Then you got some people that got some influence, and then you got your hood influencers. You got the people who know what's going on. Then you got your street walkers where they know who's the gas station people and the liquor store man and they know about the store over here. So they're very familiar with the community and the environment. How is it that we have the technology that we have and the resources that we have, and we are not allowing that to get us to another level and matriculate to another level? See, one of the things that I love about how my mother raised us is that she always raised us, to believe in our capabilities. See, it's one thing for people to persuade you and coerce you into thinking and giving you some feedback, but you gotta know. You got to know with all your heart and all your soul that I am and I have greatness. You got to know unapologetically without nobody validating that, nobody pushing you into a place of greatness, that you got to know that I am special. You know, my granddad Chester, granddaddy Chester, he was an alcoholic my whole entire life, right? And I love my granddad. But I don't have any real memories of my granddad taking us anywhere or doing anything with us. But I do remember my mother pulling up on Livernois and Otter Drive, and no, Oakman Boulevard. And I remember my mother going on 12th Street and 4th Street to find her dad. And we finding him amongst the neighborhood drunks and alcoholics. And the one thing that I can remember that my granddad always taught us is that he would say, put your finger up. Put that number 1 up in the air. And he would say, you are number 1, and don't you forget it. Don't you put it up. Say I'm number 1. And I would be like, Granddad, I'm number 1. I'm number 1. And when you're a kid, you don't understand what you are being trained to do. Imagine all of the new racists that we have in our society. They weren't born that way. That was a training that they did. And see, this is what we have to become a lot more equipped with understanding, is that there are trainings and strategies that are going on that are helping people get to the next level. And while y'all sitting around talking about this, that, and the third that don't make no sense, can't help nobody, it ain't helping us get to the next level, it ain't preventing nothing from happening, we lose every time. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about we're the same but different. Because one of the things that I believe about me is that God has promised me to have a purpose, to have the prosperity that I know that I deserve. Some of us have grown up in poverty, and we still have the same impoverished mindset that we had back then. And this is one of the reasons why we can't get to the next level, because we allowed the same white tactics that they used to enslave us. We keep allowing those things to manifest in our community. Light skin and dark skin, and you're the leader, and I don't want to follow behind you, because listen, if it's going to get us to where we need to go, it don't matter. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't think not one enslaved individual was concerned about the abolitionists that got them to the next level. I don't know one slave that said, oh, I don't want to go in their house. They may not have the quilts that we used to at Master House. No, they saying where I'm supposed to be, in the bottom of this little, up under the house, in this attic, where you want me to go. Because if wherever you want me to be is going to allow me to get to freedom and to get up north, that's where I want to be. See, I want to be around people who want to go to the next level, and they mean what they say, and they say what they mean. They ain't just talking to hear themselves talk. They walk in that talk, and they talk in that walk. See, there are a lot of people that we get because they look like us. You know, my grandma used to say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And just because we look like each other, that don't mean that we got each other's backs. Because at the end of the day, there are some situations that I got in that there were people that looked like me, that went to same church as me, that grew up where I grew up. But the first thing that they didn't go to for me was prayer. You know what they did? They got in the corner and they started talking about me. They got in a group chat and they started talking about what I had going on. Instead of them pulling me to the side and saying, hey, what you need, or are you okay, or how can we help you, or what do you need to do? You had people who they did not have your best interests at heart, that looked like you and me. And let me tell you something. That mentality did not just start. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add more to it before I take it back. And y'all heard me the first time, because y'all ain't got a heaven and hell to put me in. So keep tuning in. Listen, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe again to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook. Listen, I'm talking all about we're the same, but we're different. Because at the end of the day, we are all a representative of one another. You may not think so, but you are. I don't care how cool you are with your baby daddy, how beefed out you are with your baby mama. Y'all are representatives of a family, whether it worked out, whether it didn't. You are a representative of your community, whether y'all were friends and it worked or you didn't. Because at the end of the day, if you really for Black Lives Matter and Black excellence, as we like to call it, then guess what? A lot of us are carrying around trauma. And we're carrying around pride, and we're carrying around ego, which hinders those relationships from growing. See, when you carrying around hurt and scarcity from your past, and you're carrying that in other new relationships, Your own ego and your own pride will hinder relationships that you were supposed to have. See, there are some people that were willing to work with you, but because you felt some type of way and you got into your feelings about whatever it is that you got into your feelings about, now it has hindered the progress of where we're supposed to be. See, there is no way in hell, H-E double hockey sticks, that any of us should be living in poverty. And don't act brand new. Don't act like you got it because you don't. Okay? We ain't about to act like we doing something and living our best lives like it's golden. Even if you getting a couple dollars, you still got to maintain them couple dollars. Okay? Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I don't care what economic status of wealth that you think you're in. I don't care what kind of living situation that you think you in. We are representatives of one another. When they do the statistics and the data from school to prison pipeline, guess what they're basing that on? Statistics of the third grade. So if they're basing that on statistics at the third grade, every kid in the third grade is the same, but different. They either a boy or a girl. They either like candy or toys. They either watch cartoons or movies. They're the same, but they're different. So how could you formulate a statistical plan based off a third grader who may not even be the same by the time that they get 18? But because of repetitive behaviors, right? Because of repetitive behaviors. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about we are the same but different. And if you like my shirt, Black on Purpose, you can get that from my sister girl, Miss Crystal Rice Jenkins at Black Economic Exchange Group. You can order yours today. I'm sure she got plenty more. Now, if you want yours cut up, that's going to have to cost you, okay? But you can slide in my DMs. I can hook you up. But if you're tuning in, we're talking all about we're the same but different. And when you understand that I need to be around the people not just like you, because you value the diversity and how people are different. I love seeing the different shades of blackness, the light skin with the freckles and the dark skin and the skin so black it looked like midnight and it's so smooth and it's so beautiful. I love seeing the fullness of a black person's lips and the evolution and the evolvement of black families and the love and how the black man is so statuesque. And it also lets you know why they wanted to keep a cap and a lid on our ethnicity and our communities. Because if we ever got great, if we ever got to the place where we actually were supposed to be a long time ago, they know that it's going to be time out for them. See, one of the things that I understand in life, and if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, one of the things in life that I understand is that although we may be the same, we're all going through different seasons in our lives. There's a young lady who's going into a season of being a mom, and her son is entering school, just went off to pre-K or kindergarten. And it is the beginning of the season of their lives where, oh my God, I'm getting ready to let my baby go. And then now there are some people who are in a season of now their child is about to graduate from high school. And now you getting ready to let your baby go into another season of their life. And see, every season and every a trial, every tribulation, everything that we've been through, good, bad, or indifferent, it allows us to become who we are. Nobody wakes up and says, ooh, I want to have some barriers today. Nobody wakes up and says, you know what? I want to run into a bunch of Karens today. You know what? Today, I want to run into some racist people and potentially lose my life because of the color of my skin. I don't think not one black person woke up and said, you know what? I want to have injustices against me. You know what? I want the judicial system to discriminate against me when I go to court. No black person says that. So because we are not saying that, that means that there are people who are saying it. Let's see how we can manipulate the people. Let's see how we can manipulate the kids. Let's see how we can manipulate the black women. Let me see how we can manipulate a situation for my advantage, because this is how they pin us against each other. This is where the crab in the barrel and the bucket came into place, because they put us against each other from being enslaved. Nobody was tripping about who had a tribe that was winning over here and a tribe that was winning over there in Africa from our descendants. Oh, but would they fight for battle of kingship and leadership? Absolutely. But guess what? They were developing leaders. They were moving each other forward. They were helping each other to get to the next level. You know why? Because helping each other was all we had, and that was all that was available. And so when you start looking at your brother and your sister as if you better than them, because you then came up and you done got a couple dollars, you end up messing yourself up, because you walk in this thing humbly, because you better remember the bunk bed you used to sleep in. You better remember the pallet you used to sleep on the floor. You better remember the noodles and the chicken noodle soup that your mama used to make. See, there are people who get to a point in life because they think they made it. And what you don't realize is that, yeah, you may have made some successes. At the end of the day, in the corporate world, in the wealth world, in every industry, wherever there is lack of representation, and even when there is over-representation, look at the music industry, overpopulated with African-American artists. But there are only a few artists who choose to actually take advantage of the ability of their creativity. Think about Prince. Think about Michael Jackson. Think about how things changed for them when they decided, I want to own my masters. I want to own what I have built, because people will play on you because now they got a couple dollars. And see, if you're tuning in, you listen to, yeah, I said it before I take it back. I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about we are the same, but different. See, I think one of the reasons we have a hard time with valuing who we are as a people is because we're not reminded enough of who we are. We're not reminded enough of where we've been, and we're not reminded enough of what's to come if we don't start paying attention to our history. See, I just received some information earlier this week about the legislature trying to propose that they stop talking about Black people being slaves. Huh? So you mean to tell me you about to try to act like you want to erase what happened to us because it makes white people feel uncomfortable? Well, maybe you shouldn't have allowed your ancestors to enslave us and kidnap us, and maybe it would make you feel so uncomfortable. Maybe if you talk about what it means to not discriminate a person because of the color of their skin, then maybe we wouldn't have people that find it okay to become racist with people because of the color of their skin. See, when you understand your heritage, I grew up watching Roots. I grew up watching certain movies and Lean on Me and certain shows that allowed us to understand our value as a people. I look at history books and I read about how we made the tissue roller, not just the traffic light. We created a baby stroller, not just hairstyles. We created the pressing comb, not just a quick weave. We created all type of things, the refrigerator, from the light bulb, the part that we needed for the light bulb to make. But guess what? We allow people to come in, talk sweet in our ear, having us thinking that they're for us, right? I was talking to one of my partners earlier this week, and she was telling me and reminding me about how Thomas Edison, right? Thomas Edison was stealing all the patents of Black folks. And at the end of the day, here we are with a lot more opportunities to do some great things because we have this thing called social media. Our ancestors that came before us had none of these things and was still successful. So you mean to tell me that because of the platform that you have, you're not going to go out here and go be great? You're going to allow yourself to be around mediocre people? Let me tell you something. I know that me having my son early was a blessing in disguise, because what it did was it allowed me to separate myself from people who weren't ready to go where God had ordained for me to go. See, a lot of us have been ordained to do some great things. You see it, you envision it. When you close your eyes, you see yourself doing great things. You see yourself blessing the community. You see yourself walking and talking and living the life that you see in your dreams. And in order for you to manifest that, in order for you to allow God to allow those things to come to pass, your faith and level of thinking has to be upgraded. This is why I have to be. I'm talking about Zsa Zsa. I don't know about you. I'm talking about me. I have to be around people that are constantly doing things to impact themselves for the better, because guess what? They're growing. If you're not around nobody that's growing, your growth ends up getting stunted. This is why there are certain people that only can get to this cap in their life, and this is where they're going. This is where the buck stops. This is why I'm always very conscientious of, when I talk to certain people, where their wisdom comes from. If you're listening to people who have less than you, trying to get wisdom from them, you are going to be in bad shape. If you are getting confirmations and knowledge from somebody who has not only failed in life, but they have not progressed in life. See, a lot of people will always have an issue with you. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to, I said it before, I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about we're the same but different. You're always going to have people who have issues with you when you start setting standards and boundaries for your life and you mean it. See, I told you all in the beginning of the year, my first episode and first podcast episode of 2022 was don't start none and it won't be none, right? And I said, if you are going to partner with people, if you're going to put yourself out there, you better make sure that you say what you mean and you mean what you say. Don't make commitments that you cannot commit yourself to. See, a lot of us, we want a man, we want a marriage, and we want the little beautiful wedding, we want to be piped down and picked up, we want somebody to whisper sweet nothings in your ear. But guess what? It ain't gonna always be sweet. There are gonna be some times where that person may not be at their best. Are you gonna be able to handle them when they're not at their best? And see, this is where the honesty and communication comes into play, because you have to understand that in order for us as a people, for us as individuals to get to the next level, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself about what you are capable of handling in this moment and in this season in your life. Because what you cannot do is allow yourself to commit to things that's going to hinder another area in a person's life. It's just like me saying, hey guys, I'm giving away $100. Sign up, and the first 10 people to sign up, I'm gonna give each one of y'all $100. And then 10 people sign up, and then I tell them, you know what, y'all, I can't give y'all $100. I'm only gonna be able to give y'all $2. Y'all gonna be like, what? You didn't have me sign up for this? And you told us that you was giving us $100, and I done told everybody to sign up too, and this, that, and the third, and now you only gonna give me $2? Now you questioning the integrity of that person. Are they committed to what they say they are committed to? This is one of the reasons why every single Thursday, before God allows me to get to the syndicated part, he got to trust me with the stuff where it ain't syndicated. See, before your stuff can get to BET, before your stuff can get on a stage play and on the Broadway, before your stuff can get to the stadiums, God gotta trust that you're gonna be dedicated to the room. God gotta know that this is one of the reasons why there are some people that are gonna propel. See, there are some local celebrities, right? People they know. But then there are going to be some people that are going to become international, worldwide. They're going to be known in other countries. And I'm going to tell you why. There are some people who got it based off of what their parents have done. And that's a beautiful thing, because as women and men, we have to get to a place where our finances make room for our children's children. Okay? Wise women and men. Wise men and women live a life where they can leave something for their children's children. Wise women build their houses up. They don't tear them down. And so when you get to a place where you want to get to a next level in life, you understand that there is a responsibility that I have, not only to myself, to my family, and to my community. Ain't nobody got time for your ego. Ain't nobody got time for your pride. Your feelings is hurt. You know how bad the feelings was hurt of our enslaved brothers and sisters. They got to stand on a chopping block, butt booty ass naked, and got chains on their arms and chains on their legs, and they got a whole wide room full of outside people that's watching them, and they about to get sold off to slavery, and a woman who just had a baby got to get her baby snatched from her. And you talking about, I don't like how this, and y'all, you know what? You didn't commit yourself. And when you commit yourself to the talent and to the gift that God has given you, you can't worry about who like you, who don't like you, who supports you, who your friend is, who your partner is. Because when God gave you the vision, gave you the dream, the gift, and the talent, he gave it to you. And there are going to be some people in your life that are going to be abolitionists. And they're going to be the people that are going to carry you, just like they carried our enslaved ancestors to freedom through the Underground Railroad. And although it wasn't a real railroad, wasn't no tracks, but there were symbolic areas that meant something. And see, when you mean something to somebody, they value what you bring to the table. When you mean something to a particular community, they want to wrap their arms around you. We can't keep waiting until people become their greatness of the person who they are supposed to become. And now all of a sudden, oh, I knew they were going to be great. And yeah, I remember when they were little and didn't know. No, we not keeping that same energy. And see, when you're not reminded enough of where we come from, you don't value the leather belt. You don't value people like Tyler Perry, people like Sidney Poitier, because guess what? You don't understand the value in what they had to do and go through to get us to that next level. See, if you're not constantly reminded, see, my son, I constantly remind him, I did this. So you better understand what it means to have a parent on your team that loves you unconditionally and did not decide to walk away. See, when you value people, you don't walk away from them so easily. When you value what your mama brought to the table, you don't find it so easy to disrespect mama. When you understand how grandma slaved over Sunday dinner, you understand how valuable it was now that those Sunday dinners ain't here no more. Now you wish grandma's Sunday dinners was here. But you wouldn't even pick up the phone to call and check on grandma. Now grandma gone. And now you like, oh, now team family. And see, this is where we got to get to. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm doing. I'm going to add more to it. Listen, we are going to have First Fridays this Friday, actually tomorrow, February 4th, 2022. We having our First Fridays Poetry Month. Listen, last month was off the chain. It was absolutely amazing. The vibe was absolutely beautiful. I'm talking about grown and mature crowd, honey, because ain't nobody got time to be playing no games. I ain't standing in no long line outside, no club. I ain't standing behind no stanchions trying to get you to persuade you to let me come in. I ain't trying to get robbed. I ain't trying to have no liquor spilt on my shoes or my outfit. I don't need you all in my face because COVID is still here. I want to be in spaces and places that's safe, and I'm going to be fed in my soul, and it's going to edify me to be better. I want to leave places filled and full. I don't like leaving places that leaves me drained and annoyed because of what you got going on and your foolishness and your folly. And this is why you got to be mindful of the people that you have around you, because the people that you have around you can pull you down or they can lift you up. And see, I want to be around people that don't mind lifting me up when I'm down, and they don't mind being lifted up when they down. See, I like dealing with people that straight up no chaser, because I don't want to try to figure out, we cool today? We not cool today? Are we friends today? No, we partners today? Oh, are you supporting me today? You know, are we family today? See, if I got to figure that out, I don't want no gray areas in my life other than the colors that I wear. As far as people, you have to understand that your strategic move in this season in your life is going to stop the captive and the captivity that's happening within our families. See, when you move strategically, it allows the people that's coming behind you to move in a strategic manner. Martin Luther King did not want to end Jim Crow laws and stop segregation because he just knew he was going to see it in the future. He did it because he said, I want my daughters and my sons, those little black boys and those little black girls, to have an opportunity, not because of the color of their skin, but because of their intellect. He knew I may not see the promise. It's just like Moses. He may not have been able to cross the river of Jordan, but he was able to get the people to the river. See, there are going to be some people that are going to get you there, and they may not stay there with you. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it before I take it back, I'm talking all about we're the same, but we're different. That's just like there are some people that may go to the church just like you do, sit right next to you in the pew. And while you up here sincerely praising and honoring God for him not letting you die last night from the club, while you up here raising your hands and praising the Lord for you getting your last little couple of dollars, when you up here sincerely giving your all to what you got, and you got somebody next to you and you thinking, right, that they there for the same thing. You thinking that you gonna run into somebody because you are in the same environment. It's just like you go to college with somebody, you go to school with somebody, you grow up with somebody. You would think that y'all got the same mindset, right? No, wrong. Because just because we look alike, just because we may have the same last name, just because we might have went to the same school, just because we from the same hood, we don't have the same intentions and the same goals. And I'm going to tell you why I know this. Because ain't no way in hell, double hockey sticks, that a 15-year-old little boy was able to get a gun to shoot another little boy. Where were the elders? Where were the people that were supposed to speak life into these kids and tell them, hey, man, cut all that out, dog? This is why I look at our people. We are the same, but we different. Every chance I get, I talk to young men. Even though I'm a woman, I talk to them because I know my daddy was in prison. And I hated having to go to prison, take off my shoes, take my belt off, all of these different stupid things just to go see my daddy. I hated having to lie at school and say my daddy was in the army when that Negro was locked up in a penitentiary. My brothers was locked up in a penitentiary. My uncles was locked up in a penitentiary. And I'll be damned. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I tell God all the time, I take the bullet in the heat before I let my son go, because I'm in the business of breaking generational curses and building generational wealth. Now, you may not have the same thought process as I do. This is why I know, although we may be both black, my agenda is different than yours. I remember inviting some colleagues and some people to my home. And I remember inviting them to my home, and I said, you know, yeah, I want to do this, and I brought this idea to the table. And this is one of the reasons, if you're in business, if you're ever sharing any ideas with anybody that could potentially make some money, potentially change the trajectory of anybody's life, you need a non-disclosure agreement. If you need one, I forward you mine. It'll be $10. If you need a MOU, meaning a memorandum of understanding, so that way ain't nobody confused about what it is that we got going on. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about we are the same, but we're different. Because at the end of the day, there are some people who you think you can make money with, who you think you can build with, who you think has the best interests at heart in the community. And at the end of the day, yeah, we both black, but me and you ain't talking about the same thing. Our intentions are not the same. Who allowed a 15-year-old little boy to put a gun in his hand after we just seen the shootings of Oxford? This is one of the reasons why I don't entertain foolishness with people who should know better. You 40, 50, 60 years old, 40 years old, 30 years old, still acting like you a kid, entertaining family drama and other people's family mess, and you can't even focus on your own stuff. I don't have time for that. And see, when you learn that your time is money, you start getting real short with certain conversations. You start saying, well, girl, all right, well, let me get up out of here because I got something to do. You understand? Because you start understanding that my temple is not only holy, but my temple don't need that negative energy. Okay? You start understanding, you know what? You don't mean me no good. I thought that you was pretty cool when we first met and everything, you know what I'm saying? You know, I thought me and you was on the same page, but you know, after consideration, you know, I started talking in business in my brain. After further consideration, you know, I have spoken over with my elders and my Holy Spirit, and it's telling me that you don't mean me no good, so I'm gonna exit stage left. See, when you start understanding and valuing who you are and what you bring to the table, you'll be okay with walking away from people you think you need and people you think you don't need. See, I have come to a place in my life where the toxicity is real and I don't want no parts, because there's a level that God wants me to go to. The word that I've heard all week, and I've heard it, I've seen it. Other people have said it. And see, when you are on a certain path, God will start sending you certain revelations. He'll start sending you confirmations. If you are a big believer in signs, numbers, and wonders, then you are woke. Then you understand that God is going to send you things and send you messages through certain mediums. He's going to send you certain messages through certain people. He's going to send you certain messages. Have you ever watched something? Do you just watching a show? And you might have been talking about something to somebody earlier that week or earlier that day, and then you watch something, and then all of a sudden it confirms what you just said, or you read something and it confirms what you was feeling, or somebody that says something about your situation and they don't know nothing about what's going on. That's God letting you know, baby girl, young man, you're on the right path. This is where you need to be. This is what you need to be doing. Okay, you headed in the right direction. Every time I am questioning, okay, am I making the right decision? Anything that I gotta question, you know, and I'm pondering on it, you know, and it ain't coming easy for me, you know, and anything that I'm having difficult with allowing it to merge within my life, that means it shouldn't be there. Anything that's taking your joy away, that's causing you to feel some type of way, anything that's causing you to be up at night, I don't want to be with no man. I got to worry if he cheating on me. Why are we together? I'm up going through your phone to see if you texting another one. I don't even want it. Listen, we exit stage left. If I got to worry about if you supposed to be my friend and you may possibly sleep with my man and I don't want it. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about we are the same, but we're different. And when you understand that we're the same but different, you also understand who the Satchels and the Uncle Toms and the Coons are. You understand who's on your side for real and who really ain't on your side. Who there to benefit off of you and who actually wants to benefit with you. See, there are some people that want to work with you. They want to build with you. And they are willing to do the work. And then there are some people who want to benefit off of you, where they see you do the work. I talked about this before. A lot of us have a lot of different relationships, friendships, partnerships, and we the person that's steering the ship. I talked about this last year in September at a women's conference in New York, and I talked about who's steering your ship. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us are dragging relationships. We the ones, we the friend in the ship, we the partner in the ship, we the relation in the ship. We the ones that's making we the ones that's keeping the train rolling. Stop making the train roll and see if the ship still go. You stop being the one to initiate certain situations and see how that friendship and the continuity and the validity of that relationship continues. You start doing you and see if they start checking on you. See, I used to be the friend, hey, y'all all right over there? I just was calling, just doing a friendship check, checking in, making sure everybody good. Then when I stopped doing that, phone was dry. Hello? Ain't nobody checking on me. And see, this is the thing. I don't care what nobody, I see memes, we're all going through something, just be, no, let me tell you something. When you care about somebody, when you value somebody, when you call somebody a friend, a sister, a brother, this is why I'm very, very mindful who I call my brother, my sister, my friend. I'm always very mindful of who I give titles to, because although we may be the same, we are different. I gave people titles that they didn't deserve and they didn't value even when they had them. Some of us want the love and the relationship and the love goals, but are you willing to sacrifice and be that? See, a lot of us, we don't want to sacrifice what it takes in order to maintain certain things. This is one of the reasons why the longevity within our economic status as Black people, as African Americans, as Africans in America, because we don't understand and realize that the inventions and the creations and the fact that we're chosen, when you don't understand that, then you won't value it in another person. When I talk to my friends, people I love, we ain't talking about other Black people. We ain't talking about somebody trying to be great. We talking about, man, I'm so proud of such and such. Did you see it? Yeah, I seen it. And although we do talk about, did you see they didn't represent us right? And I've been guilty of misrepresenting my people. We all been there where it was like, I didn't give them my best. That I didn't give them what I know I should have gave in that moment. I wasn't the best representation. Have you ever done something that your mama and daddy told you not to do, right? And now you have become disobedient and you weren't supposed to do it. And at the end of the day, you get that feeling of I knew better. That feeling of I know this ain't right. See, there are a lot of us who ignore those feelings because we want what we want and we want how we want it. And see, before anything happens to us, God is going to give us a word if you're inclined and in tune. Now, this is only if you're inclined and in tune. And as a matter of fact, even if you're not inclined and in tune, he'll still give you a warning because he loves you and he knows how retarded and stupid you are. Yeah, I said it. Because some of y'all make some stupid decisions, me included. Me, Zsa Zsa too. She's made dumb decisions she wish she could take back. She said some things that she didn't mean, or at the time she was heated. I made some decisions and I did some things that I didn't represent the Christ that I proclaim. We all have. This is why the Bible says we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory and goodness of God. That means that we're all the same when it comes to sin. But there are some that have been chosen. The Bible says there are some that have been called, but a few have been, all have been called, but a few have been chosen. That means that all of us had the opportunity to be chosen, but some of you did not walk up to the call. That's just like God calling you. And he calling you. And he calling you. And God calling you, because there's some blessings on the other line. And he calling you. And you didn't send God to voicemail. You didn't send God to send you a text. And God saying, I'm trying to call you, Zsa Zsa. I got some blessings on the line for you. But you like, nah, I ain't. I'm over here doing this. I'm doing me. And see, this is how we end up messing ourselves up, because we always trying to do us. I'm just out here doing me. I'm just out here living. When you learn to start being accountable for your life, you start learning to be not only accountable for your life, you start being accountable for your family's life. You start being accountable for your community's life. You start being accountable for your people's life. You start wanting to be around people who represent what it is that you want to represent. See, I represent wealth, and I only want to be around wealthy people. I don't want to be around nobody that's poor. That don't mean that I don't like you. That don't mean that I hate you or dislike you. But because my mindset is wealth, I got to be around the wealth. If you want to be a script writer, you're not going to be hanging around race car drivers. That's not where you need to be. If you want to be around the greats, you hang with the greats. And this is where the greats got to humble themselves. The greats got to humble themselves, because they weren't what? Always great. They weren't always great. That's why I love people like my mentor, Dr. Cole, who humbles herself to talk to everybody. I remember when she gave me an opportunity, and I was working, I was in between jobs, and I had just graduated from Specs Howard School of Radio and Video Production and Broadcast Arts. And I remember needing a job. And I'm a single mother trying to raise my child. And I remember I went to Dr. Cole and I said, look, I just graduated. I know how to do some things, but I'm willing to learn. She said, yeah, come through. I got something for you. Or if we don't got nothing for you, I'll find something. And I said, okay. And when I got there, she was a woman of her word. And this is why you have to be mindful of when you become a mentor, when you start becoming a coach and a teacher and an instructor, you start becoming responsible for the trajectory of another person's life. And if you don't do people right, you can mess them up. This is why when I said earlier in the podcast, stop committing yourself to things that you know you cannot do. Because if you commit yourself to it, somebody's going to hold you to it. So when I got to the studio for the opportunity to work at the station for TCT, I was so excited because I had just graduated from Specs Howard, and I'm looking to be a television host, and I'm thinking I'm close. If I could just get in the room. And see, some of you don't want to work hard enough to at least get yourself in the room. Because I don't want to be, I ain't kissing up to nobody. I ain't kissing nobody's ass. And, I ain't doing all of that. Let me tell you something. I'm doing all of that and some. Because I am owed to myself to live a great life. I owe my son a great life because he grew up with me. He was trial and error. So any parent, their first child is trial and error child. We just making it happen. We out here free balling, freestyling, trying to make it do what it do, praying that we don't mess up our children, and praying that we push them in the right direction, and we're praying that whatever happened to us, it don't happen to our kids, because we want better for them. And while I was at the station with my mentor, I was so grateful that she was a woman of her word, and she gave me an opportunity. She gave me an opportunity to put my money where my mouth was. And not only did she give me an opportunity to put my money where my mouth was, I was able to grow. She didn't just want to keep me because at first, when I first got there, she had me doing the projector. That's all I did. I did the projector, and one of her best friend, First Lady, Kelly Johnson. Shout out to Kelly Johnson. If you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking about we are the same but different. she would write her scripts, and I would handle the projector. I would just handle the words so that she could be able to read them. And then over conversation, they found out that I could write. And then not only was I handling one thing, but then I started getting the responsibility of writing scripts. And I went from handling the projector to writing scripts, to being on camera, to being a guest on her show. So you got to understand how these things work in your life. I went from being a guest on her show to having my own show. You know why? Because God put me in a position to learn all the positions at a studio. See, I didn't know what I was being trained for. I knew that in my mind, this is what I wanted. And see, this is the thing. This is when you got to understand that we are the same, but we're different. We all carry the weight and the burden of our ancestors. We all carry that. And when you understand that you have a responsibility to hold yourself accountable and to hold your community accountable, to hold your community leaders accountable, ain't no way in hell that our streets in Detroit should be looking like this. So that means that somebody that's in leadership dropped the ball. When you drop the ball in leadership, that means that somebody's not going to reap the benefits of what it should be. You go across 8 Mile, I bet you them streets is plowed like there wasn't no snow on them. That's exactly how it should be within the city of Detroit, and it's exactly how it should be in any urban community. Stop allowing people to give you less than what you deserve. And when people commit themselves to things that they say they were going to do for you, and if they don't do it, guess what? You cut those ties. Because you need people in your life, in this season of your life, to do what they mean, do what they say they mean, and mean what they say. I deal with people accordingly. Not to what they telling me, to what they showing me. Because you can tell me, girl, yeah, I'm gonna help you do this. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. It's about to go down. Woo, 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 blah, 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 blah. And then when it comes down to getting down to the nitty-gritty, they don't want to get their hands dirty. This is why when it came to Harriet Tubman freeing slaves and Sojourner Truth and Frederick Douglass and when it came to standing in your purpose and owning your blackness, you don't think these black people were scared out of their mind? They had more reasons then to be afraid than we do now. And what I hate to see is how much we don't have backbones. We don't have backbones to speak our truth because we don't want to be beefed out with nobody. I don't want to be having no enemies. I don't want to make nobody mad. Listen, let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something. They're going to talk about you whether you do good, bad, or indifferent. So you might as well protect you at all times. Because I'm going to tell you something. Other people will protect themselves at the cost and the benefit of you. And you sitting there with your hands out trying to figure out what happened. I thought we was on the same page. Have you ever been around somebody and you thought y'all was on the same page? But unfortunately, y'all wasn't even on the same page, nor was y'all in the same book. This is why the revelation that God gave me is that everybody that look like me won't have the same evolution and they won't have the same revelation as me, because guess what? There are some things that was instilled in me growing up that was not instilled in you. You don't understand the value of Black Wall Street if you don't understand what happened to the first Black Wall Street. You don't understand the value and the importance of having Black leadership and Black representation in every industry on this God's green earth. If you understood it, you'll understand when we didn't have representation. And so it is important that we continue to uplift each other. When I see other women, hey, beautiful, hey, gorgeous. Even if, and I get it all the time. I get women, girl, I got on this old t-shirt. I know we were in Dollar Tree the other day, me and my sister. And the girl, she had on a bonnet. And we looked. You at work, sis, with the bonnet on? Okay, I get bonnets in the airport. I get bonnets running in the store. I even get bonnets taking your kids to school. I get bonnets being at home. But you at work, sis. Why you got that bonnet on your head? Misrepresentation. And she looked at us and she said, this what she did. She said, I'm so sorry. I know I look crazy and I'm about to go in the back and do something to my head because y'all look so pretty. And let me tell you what I said. I said, you're beautiful. Go on, slick them baby hairs down and pull it in a ponytail. You got a beautiful face. Go on ahead. Don't let that bonnet be your representation. And this is what I told my son. I told my son, don't be afraid of your blackness. You walk in your blackness. He down in Alabama going crazy because he ain't never been in this environment. Own your blackness. Own who you are. Our children are in a world that they ain't never been in. They are dealing with things that they have never seen coming. See, a lot of us, we know what it means to be at home and be homebound and not to have a cell phone. I grew up where we went outside and played. Okay, we was at the park, we rode bikes, we was hanging out. Our parents had to find us to make sure we came back home, and we didn't have to worry about our weirdos on the block. Now, don't get me wrong, there was always weirdos around, but guess what? There were Black parents and Black leaders that was paying attention to the kids in the community. There was no way in hell that a kid was going to get kidnapped, not under the watch of some Black mothers, not under the watch of some Black fathers that was paying attention. See, this is where we got to get back to. We got to get back to the place where you have a backbone, you stand up for what you believe in, and if that mean that they ain't talking to you no more, then guess what? They wasn't going to talk to you no way. We got to learn to build each other up and uplift each other to get each other to the next level, to get each other to help each other by and by. Not, look at her over there. She over there. Look at her over there struggling. Look at her trying to be somebody. This is how we talk about each other. Look at that. Yeah, she over there. Nah, I don't even fool with her. How you don't fool with who? Let me tell y'all, and I'm about to go. I had a relative tell me, well, he didn't tell me. He told somebody on the phone, and I overheard it. Tell somebody, oh, I don't F with her. Oh, you don't F with me? Oh, okay. You don't even F with yourself. You're homeless. You're going from house to house, and you talking about you don't F with somebody? First of all, sir, you need to F with yourself. Okay, before you could even F with anybody. See, some people will know that you have an anointing and you have a gift and you have the ability to be a true representation of Black excellence, and they don't like that. This is why you got to understand, if you're tuning in, you're listening to I said it, and before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it. This is why you got to understand, although we got the same skin, we ain't the same kin. Okay? And the same people, right, that wanted us to win and overcome certain barriers were the same people that would set us up. The same people that we're trying to help and help their lives to be better are the same people that will cause confusion in our lives. And this is why we have to get to a point where we have to understand that our energy, our lives, our bodies are made of electric waves, which means when we talk about positive and negative energy, this is a real thing. You have electricity running through your body. And if your body is made out of 90% water, and water is a energy, have you ever went by the water and it made you feel better? Have you ever drank some water and it became refreshing? It is because this is what we're made of. When you understand what you're made of, you understand how important it is to go and make some other stuff, to go and do it again. You build your children to understand what Black excellence looks like and stands on. Because see, if our kids are looking at it, they looking at the rappers, the dappers, the twerkers, the workers, they looking at the people who getting their bread. You know what I'm saying? and they're looking at the people who are selling their souls to get a couple dollars only to live a certain way, and they still end up being unhappy. This is why we have to be the teachers and the instructors. We have to be the teachers and the instructors of the next generation, because they're paying attention, and they're paying attention to how we deal with one another, how we operate with one another. This is why I don't feel bad when I have to call somebody out on their stuff, because if we gonna move forward in our relationship, in our partnership, in our friendship, in our relationship, and any type of shit that I gotta be in with you, we gonna talk about what we need to talk about so that we can move past it and get to the next level. But see, there are some people who can't get to the next level because they can't move past certain things. They can't move past you matriculating in life. They can't move past you don't look like what you've been through. They can't move past how you're able to maintain, and they can't move past how you're able to have favor and blessings in certain areas, because they got money but they ain't got favor. And see, there are some things that money can buy you. There's some things that favor can get you that money can't buy. I've been in places where even the people who had the leadership qualities and capabilities couldn't get access to what I was able to get access, because guess what? God allowed me to have favor in that season of my life. See, there are some people who look like you, right? They come from same family you come from, but the anointing and the favor that you have on your life, you carry it. And if you gonna stand up and be a black woman and a black man, you better carry your blackness on purpose. Listen, I love y'all. Listen, make sure y'all subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel again. Follow me on Facebook. Listen, each and every week we are celebrating this week's month of melanin. I have had some amazing speakers so far. We were doing a Wellness Wednesday yesterday, but of course, you know, due to Snowmageddon. And today we were doing some things, but of course, those two activities have been canceled. But we are going to convene tomorrow. We are going to convene tomorrow for our first Friday's Poetry Night. We also have it virtually. So if you want, it's only $10. Okay, it's only $10. And if you want to be a part, if you want to do some spoken word, even if it's virtually, if you want to do some spoken word, because what my goal is in this next season of my life is impact and income. Those are my 2 words for 2022. Impact and income. My words last year was memorable and visible. And I made sure that I was memorable and I was visible at all times. This year, my goal is impact and income. Because when you really want to do some great things in life, guess what? God will allow you to go to a whole nother level, and he'll send you the people you need. But remember this. Everybody is not meant to stay. There are some people that will get in your way of getting into your next level of life. I want you to upgrade your level of thinking. I want you to upgrade your love that you give out. And listen, I want you to celebrate your blackness every single day like it ain't going out of style, baby. Because no matter how light you bleach it, you still black. You better ask Michael Jackson that. Yeah, I said it. Before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Listen, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you check me out. Listen, y'all better act like y'all know me, okay? Because when y'all see me in the streets, stop acting funny and stop acting brand new with your own kind, okay? Because we gonna get to the next level, okay? We gonna get to the next level together, all right? Listen, I love, what you talking about? Can we talk for 20 more minutes? Girl! Y'all, okay. All right, if you put it in the chat. If you still, I got some more notes. If you want some more notes, I got some more notes for you. But I'm not trying to steal y'all time. And I got stuff to do. So bye. I love y'all. Make sure that y'all check me out. Tomorrow we got First Fridays. We got Battle of the Sexes coming up. I got some amazing speakers for the rest of this month. Listen, if you want to be a speaker, if you want to be an instructor, slide in my DMs. Listen, we doing this thing together. I'm taking it back to the old school, okay? Because sometimes you're going to have to take some old ways in order to change some new habits or some old habits and get some new ones. Listen, I love y'all to life. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace.